Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. It is now 2026 and in today's video we will be doing my New Year's book tag. This is 10 questions for 2026, all bookish related, so let's jump right in with question 1. How many books will you read in 2026? I was considering challenging myself as I think in 2025 I've read over 40 books, so I thought I could challenge myself and do around that number, but in the end I have decided to stick with the tradition of this channel and I'll be trying to read 26 books in 2026. I also feel that I read for fun, so I don't want the quantity that I read to become a challenge, and I think I can do 26 books in 2026 within half, if not over half the year. Question 2. Name 5 books you want to prioritize reading this year. I did this in last year's book tag and I really enjoyed it. It helped me to continue working through my TBR, which if you haven't seen, I did do a TBR video that links above me now, which was quite embarrassing. I think I worked out to read all the books I currently have on my TBR, it would take about 4 years at my current reading pace. So I've been using these 5 books to read the oldest books on my shelves, to try to get through ones that for whatever reason, and it's not normally that they're bad books, just I haven't read them and who knows why. So book number 1 for this is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. I've had this on my bookshelf for ages. Matt has read this one. He says it was good, but one that he doesn't think we'll keep after. So it's a good one for me to now read to clear space on our bookshelves. Also, I've just realized, look at that green foiling. I love that. Look at it shine. Sorry, I'm being distracted. I didn't know it had that gorgeous green foiling on the front. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. It was the longest night of the year when the strangest of things happened. In an ancient inn on the Thames, the regulars are entertaining themselves by telling stories when the door bursts open and in steps an injured stranger. In his arms is the drowned corpse of a child. Hours later, the dead girl stirs, takes a breath, and returns to life. Is it a miracle? Is it magic? And who does the little girl belong to? An inquisitively crafted, multi-layered mystery brimming with storytelling and the urgent scientific curiosity of the Darwinian age, Once Upon a River is a richly atmospheric as Setterfield's bestseller, The 13th Tale. This does have loads of good reviews. It has from The Independent, infused with the spirit of Jane Eyre, Rebecca and the Woman in White, from Madeline Miller, author of Cirque, swift and entrancing, profound and beautiful. Give yourself a treat and read it. And on the front, it is a Sunday Times bestseller. Observer says magical, Telegraph says dazzling, and on the top it says, some say the river drowned her, some say it brought her back to life. So it sounds like a semi-murder mystery, a historical fiction. I have had this on the shelf for ages and haven't read that blurb since I probably bought it. I can't remember if I bought it or if it was passed on to me. Who knows? But that's book 1 of the 5 I want to prioritize reading. The second book I want to prioritize reading is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I do actually have 2 Jessie Burton books on my shelves, and yet I haven't actually read any Jessie Burton. Kind of similar to the Stacey Hall situation, I've got to read this. This is another one that Matt has read that he said was quite a slow burn, that he doesn't think we'd keep on our shelves afterwards. So we'll find out when I read it. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed. On an autumn day in 1686, 18-year-old Nella Ortman arrives at a grand house in Amsterdam to begin her new life as the wife of wealthy merchant Johannes Brandt. Though curiously distant, he presents her with an extraordinary wedding gift, a cabinet-sized replica of their home. It is to be furnished by an elusive miniaturist whose tiny creations ring eerily true. As Nella uncovers the secrets of her new household, she realizes the escalating dangers they face. The miniaturist seems to hold their fate in her hands, but does she plan to save or destroy them? Again, this has loads of good reviews. We have Observer, fabulously gripping, Sunday Times, powerful and richly imagined, Psychology's mesmerizing and suspenseful, unmissable, Sunday Express, tantalizingly, beautifully poised, exquisitely detailed. S.J. Watson, author of Before I Go to Sleep, the miniaturist is that rarest of things, beautifully written, yet also a compelling page-turner. It's haunting, magical, and full of surprises, the kind of book that reminds you why you fell in love with reading. It is Sunday Times #1 bestseller. Yeah, again, why haven't I read this yet? I don't know. The reviews are saying that it's sort of a fast-paced, unpredictable one. Matt said it was quite slow. We'll see when I read it. Book 3 that I want to prioritise for 2026 is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. Again, one Matt's read, one he did enjoy. I think he actually said this one was one of his favourites out of the ones I want to prioritise reading, but he also doesn't know if he would read it again. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. Beware the evil in the woods. In a village at the edge of the wilderness of northern Russia, where the winds blow cold and the snow falls many months of the year, an elderly servant tells stories of sorcery, folklore, and the Winter King to the children of the family, tales of old magic frowned upon by the church. Before the young, wild Vazia, these are far more than just stories. She alone can see the house spirits that guard her home and sense the growing forces of dark magic in the woods. This does have reviews, one from Naomi Novik, who is one of my favourite authors. A beautiful, deep winter story full of magic and monsters on the sharp edges of growing up. Psychology's enchanting, fierce, and otherworldly. And on the front, we have Robin Hobb, again, a fantastic author that I should read more of. Extraordinary, wonderfully layered, and stylized, beautiful literary fairy tale. That does sound amazing, and it has some of my favourite authors have reviewed it on the front. So far, I'd say with Matt as well, that might be one of my favourites out of the 5 currently. The 4th book I want to prioritise reading this year is The Foundlings by Stacey Halls. Last year, I did read Mrs. England by Stacey Halls, which was one of my 5 priorities to read for 2025, and I enjoyed it, but it's not one I would keep in my collection. It is actually for sale because it's a first edition signed hardback with sprayed edges. So I want to read The Foundling. Now, the reason I picked up Stacey Halls was for The Familiars, but I've been told that one's amazing, so I kind of want to read that last out of the Stacey Halls. Mrs. England was written superbly, but I didn't want to reread it. It didn't quite go far enough for me. So I'm interested to see what The Foundlings is like, and it's also one that Matt has also read. So if we decide I wouldn't reread it, it's another one we can clear space on our shelves with. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. 2 women bound by a child and a secret that will change everything. London, 1754. 6 years after leaving her illegitimate daughter Clara at London's Foundling Hospital, Bess Bright returns to claim the child she has never known. Dreading the worst, that Clara has died in care, Bess is astonished to be told she has already claimed her. Her life is turned upside down as she tries to find out who has taken her little girl and why. Less than a mile from Bess's lodgings in the city, a rich young widow has not left her house in a decade. When she is asked to hire a nursemaid for her daughter, she is hesitant to welcome someone new into her home and her life. But her past is threatening to catch up with her and tear her carefully constructed world apart. The Sunday Express says breathtaking, and Cosmopolitan says the new Hilary Mantel. I did love Stacey Hall's writing in Mrs. England, so we'll see how I feel about this one. And the 5th and final book I want to prioritise reading for 2026 is The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. This was an Oxfam find that Matt's dad Dave found, and it's one we've had on our shelves for ages. It's one that Matt has read, and I think he said he would probably keep this one, but he actually can't remember it now because it's been so long since he's read it. So now it is my turn to read this, and it has gorgeous gold foil, and look at that. It's quite simple, but the back has all these vines on it. It's gorgeous. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. Every winter, Wren Silk is chased through the forest in a warped version of a childhood game. The boys who hunt her are judges, powerful and frightening pursuers, who know nothing of her true identity. If they knew she was an augur, their sworn enemy, the game would turn deadly. But Wren is on the hunt too, sent undercover as an intern to the Harkness Foundation, enemy headquarters. Her family's survival rests on finding a secret meant to stay hidden. As the enmity between two ancient magic reaches breaking point, Ren is torn between old loyalties and new lies, entrapped in the most dangerous game of her life. Part thriller, part love story, this captivating debut novel will leave readers spellbound. That does sound pretty awesome. I've actually realised I think in these books seem very winter themed, so I should really have been reading these on the lead up to Christmas, but hopefully maybe I'll read these January, February time. We'll see, whilst it's still dark and cold, so that I read wintry books then. But those are the 5 books I want to prioritise reading for 2026. Question 3. Is there a series you would like to read this year? For this, if you saw this year, I have read the Dark Magician's Trilogy by Trudy Canavan, and I did ask in that video if there is between 3 series of books, if there was one you guys would prefer me to tackle next. I have come to a decision, and it is because I enjoyed the Dark Magician Trilogy so much that I'm going to read another Trudy Canavan series, and that series is going to be Age of 5 by Trudy Canavan, and that is The Priestess of the White, Last of the Wilds, and Voice of the Gods. This is another find by Matt's dad Dave from the Oxfam Bookshop in Keynsham. I'm excited to dive into more Trudy Canavan. They are far chunkier than the first trilogy that I read by Trudy Canavan, and I don't believe these are linked to the Dark Magician Trilogy, but we will see. I won't read you guys the blurb for books 2 and 3 in that series, but I will read you guys the blurb for book 1, and I'll make a vlog of me reading this trilogy. When Aurea was chosen to become a priestess, she could never have believed that a mere 10 years later, she would be one of the White, the gods' most powerful servants. Sadly, Aurea has little time to adapt to the exceptional powers gifted her by the gods. Mysterious black-clad sorcerers from the south plague the land, and rumours of an army being raised reach the White. Aurea and her new colleagues work tirelessly to seal alliances and unite the northern continent under their banner, but time is running out. Sounds like a warmongering kind of read. I'm excited. This is the trilogy I will tackle in 2026. Question 4. Name 3 non-book related goals for 2026. For this, I have a house goal. I like to try and keep these less book related because we have so many book related goals in this book tag. So 1 is soundproofing the house. We are a semi-detached house and we want to soundproof the walls between ours and our neighbour's house. They are fantastic neighbours, but because we are musicians, we want to do it for them because obviously they must get sick of hearing us practice and recording music. Goal 2 is to finish writing my Wooden Elephants EP. This is a goal I failed to complete in 2025, so it is one I really want to finish in the first half of the year for 2026 preferably. And the final one is to take a 2-week holiday for myself and Matt. This doesn't have to be 2 weeks abroad or away. It can be 1 week anywhere on holiday and 1 week at home. But it's been a long time since we have been off work for 2 consecutive weeks. So we'd like to take 2 consecutive weeks off, whether that be to be away for that whole time or to be at home. It doesn't matter, just to have 2 consecutive weeks off. Question 5. Are there any new releases you're looking forward to in 2026? There are 3 releases. One of them isn't technically new, but I've been waiting for it to come out in paperback. The paperback book that's coming out in 2026 is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I've been waiting for the paperback copy because I have the first 2 books of this series in paperback form, so I'm excited to finally get my hands on that and read it. I also have already pre-ordered Theodora's Tea Shop by Christy Ann. This is a book written by a booktuber. I'll pop a link below to their channel. They're an amazing Australian booktuber and I've been watching their writing process and I just really want to support them. Their book sounds lovely and cozy. Already pre-ordered that and that comes out early in 2026. And then this is one I have not pre-ordered. I'm looking forward to Earthbound by Sarah Al-Arifi coming out. I have got a review of Feybound. That link is above me now. It is a book that was in my final TBR jar picks for 2025. Although it's not my favourite, I couldn't put it down by the end. I did really enjoy it and I loved its representation of transgender characters and also non-binary, the LGBTQ plus representation in that book. So I already have bought Cursebound, which is the second book in that series, and then I realised when I was just browsing Waterstones that Earthbound, the third book and final in that trilogy, will be coming out in 2026. So I'm going to read Cursebound, and if I like that as much as the first book, then I will likely be pre-ordering that as well. We're now halfway through this book tag, so if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Your continued support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. Question 6. What will be your first read for 2026? For this, I have 2 books that it could be. Maybe they're the 2 books that I'm probably most likely to read in January of this year. The first is to continue my Terry Pratchett journey with Thud. This is part of the Discworld series. I do have a playlist. I've been reading the Discworld series in order. That link is above me now if you are interested in that. This is the next read I am up to. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. Coombe Valley. That was where the trolls ambushed the dwarfs, or the dwarfs ambushed the trolls. It was far away. It was a long time ago. But if he doesn't solve the murder of just one dwarf, Commander Sam Vimes of Ankh-Morpork City Watch is going to see it fought again, right outside his office. With his beloved watch crumbling around him and war drums sounding, he must unravel every clue, outwit every assassin, and brave any darkness to find the solution. And darkness is following him. Oh, and at 6 o'clock every day, without fail, with no excuses, he must go home to read Where's My Cow with all the right farmyard noises to his little boy. There are some things you have to do. This is a continuation of the Watch series. So we have Sam Vimes, who is apparently now a father. It does have reviews on the back. A.S. Byatt, The Times. Anything in a Pratchett story is capable of being transformed into something else. From a joke to a profound observation, from a fact of our social world to pure and lively fantasy. And Scotland on Sunday says Thud has a serious theme, racial intolerance. That Pratchett can explore this while still making us laugh is a tribute to the integrity of his created world. Extremely funny, but it's also very near the knuckle duster. As I've said before in my Discworld series reviews, Pratchett deals with such major world issues, and you can kind of see him getting more and more irate at the world as his writing progresses, but he still manages to make his world funny and warming, and you just always want to be there. So Thud is likely going to be one of my earliest reads of 2026. The second book that I may read very early on, and one I'm going to borrow from the library, is ASAP by Axio. I have read EXO by Axio, which is book 1 in this duology. It is a YA romance set in South Korea, and I just found the first one really homely because I did live in Korea for 2 years. And I just want to finish the duology. I don't know if it's one that I would keep and reread after, which is why I'm going to borrow ASAP from the library, because that way the author still gets paid. You are also supporting local free books for your community, keeping people in your neighbourhood in jobs as librarians, and it's good for the environment because it is one book being circulated around multiple people. So I'm going to borrow ASAP, which might be early on as well. For this, because I don't own the book, I am going to have to find the blurb on my phone, which I hate doing, as you'll know if you've seen my videos before. But let me read you guys the blurb for ASAP. Sori has worked her whole life to become a K-pop idol until she realizes she doesn't want a life forever in the spotlight. But that's not actually up to Sori. She's caught between her exacting mother's entertainment company and her father's presidential aspirations. And as the pressure to keep her flawless public image grows, the last person she should be thinking about is her ex-boyfriend. Nathaniel is off limits. She knows this. A member of one of the biggest K-pop bands in the world and forbidden from dating, he isn't any more of an option now than he was 2 years ago. Still, she can't forget that their whirlwind romance was the last time she remembers being really happy, or that his family welcomed her into their home when she needed it most. So when Nathaniel finds himself rocked by scandal, Sori offers him a hideaway with her, and back in close quarters, it's hard to deny their old feelings. But when Sori gets an opportunity to break free from her parents' expectations, she will have to decide, is her future worth sacrificing for a second chance at love? So it sounds like it's a one-bed kind of romance. It's following a different main character from XO, which was following Kitty, which I'm actually looking forward to. That sounds really good. So we're returning to the same world, the same characters, but different protagonists, but with 2 characters we already know and love from the first book. So yeah, I may borrow that from the library very soon. Question 7. What's a book you've had forever that you should read this year? For this, I have chosen Uprooted by Naomi Novik because I have no idea why I haven't read this, because Naomi Novik is one of my favourite authors. So I'm putting it on as a book I have to read this year. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. A dark enchantment blights the land. Agnieszka loves her village, set deep in a peaceful valley, but the nearby enchanted forest casts a shadow over her home. Many have been lost to the wood, and none return unchanged. The villagers depend on an ageless wizard, the dragon, to protect them from the forest's dark magic. However, his help comes at a terrible price. A young village woman must serve him for 10 years, leaving all she values behind. Agnieszka fears her dearest friend Kasia will be picked at the next choosing, for she's everything Agnieszka is not, beautiful, graceful and brave. Yet when the dragon comes, it's not Kasia he takes. We do have reviews on the back. Ursula K. Le Guin, another amazing author, says vividly believable. Cassandra Clare, new takes on old myths and legends, a delight. Lev Grossman, wild, thrilling and deeply darkly magical. Gregory Maguire, like a lost tale of Grimm newly come to light, bewitching, and on the front, Robin Hobb, enchanting in every sense. So it's supposed to be like a fairy tale similar to Spinning Silver, which was a later book that Naomi Novik read and the first Naomi Novik I ever read. Matt has said he actually thinks Uprooted is his favourite by Naomi Novik so far. I will read this in 2026. Question 8. Do you want to try any new reading habits? For this, no, I do like my current habits, which is reading in the mornings and the evenings. I read on my lunch break at work. I like the new TBR jars that I film. I know they're not the most favourite content on my channel, but I personally really love making them, so I'm going to continue that in 2026. I like varying up my genres, so yeah, there aren't any new habits. I am enjoying my current reading habits, so I'm going to stick with those. Question 9. Are there any genres or categories you'd like to read more of this year? For this, I would say, even though I don't think there's any in my must-reads this year, I would like to read more science fiction. I think I have developed a taste for science fiction recently. I've always read some, but I think I want to delve deeper into the genre. I read Ursula K. Le Guin's Left Hand of Darkness and adored it. I've been watching a lot more science fiction series on TV. I have read Dune on this channel, which again I loved, and I adored the films of that as well. So I think I want to jump into more science fiction is a genre I want to read more into. And finally, question 10. Any channel or video goals for 2026? For this, I wouldn't normally do this, but I would love to make the goal of reaching 500 subscribers on this channel by the end of 2026. I have reached 400 subscribers in 2025, so thank you all so much. I'm really glad you guys like the channel and that you want to join me in talking about books. I just love the excuse to talk about books and share bookish content, so thank you so much for subscribing, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to hit 500 by the end of 2026. I would also like to possibly refine my book review style, sort of mainly my marks out of 10 that I do. I need to be more strict on myself at actually using that to work out the stars for each book and maybe be more severe in my marking. I don't know. I think I've just been good at reading a lot of books that I enjoy in 2025. So, knowing what I enjoy reading and therefore having quite high reviews. But I think I do need to refine that and make it a bit more strict. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this New Year's book tag. I'm looking forward to my bookish life in 2026, and I hope you guys have an awesome new year to come. Please do comment down below if you've made your own bookish goals. I'd love to hear if there's books that you want to prioritize. If there are specific goals or habits you're going to try out, do let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. If you want to see as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post my bookish pictures as well as my tips and unboxings on there. And thanks again for watching, guys. Bye!